spent the first 18 years in Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta, and um, so yeah, a little bit long ways from home here.
Mm. While everyone's putting their names in chat, I'll just go in and um, introduce myself. I'm Awele. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. So just like you, John, and a few other people, a long ways away from home, but very happy to be in Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we already got some people from France, from Jamaica, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. That's fantastic. So, um, I guess we'll get started here. Uh, Thanks everybody for coming. Just want to, before we dive into it, just we're going to be recording these sessions so that folks can look back and rewatch them if they missed this session or if they have answers or want to share with their friends or family. And if you want to get access to the link, it'll be on YouTube, and so you can just reach out to Student Life. We'll put their email in the chat later on, and they can share that with you. So to get started, my name is John. I'm one of the Residence Life Coordinators here at St. FX. I work alongside five other Residence Life Coordinators. We are full-time staff here at the university. Um, I am a St. FX grad, got my X-ring in 2021. And then I started working for the university and enjoyed my time so much that I have just stayed around and and here I am 4 years later and enjoying it, still enjoying it quite a bit. So the point of this session is really just to get you guys familiar with St. FX a little bit, also, but particularly with FX Hall, because I'm sure most of you are considering that you either have a housing application for FX or you're considering living there next year or coming to St. FX. So it's just kind of a brief uh, Q&A session at any time. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, unmute yourself, you can ask. I'm happy to stop and answer them as best I can along the way. Awele is here as a recruiter. She might, correct me or jump in or answer it. So we're going to do our best here to familiarize your guys, everybody here with what's going on. So just a little bit about my role. I have an office in every one of the residence, or there's an RLC with an office in each one of the residence buildings. So I work in FX Hall. I oversee the residence community, provide guidance for all the students, make sure it's a positive experience, a living experience. Um, I also help coordinate some of the programming from Residence Council and from our community advisors. So we do a lot of activities and such in the buildings. So part of that kind of falls on me. And then on-call support. So 24 hours every single day during the school year, one of the Residence Life coordinators is on call to respond after hours to each one of the residence buildings. And so I'm not on call the entire school year, but we cycle through the six of us on a rotation. So FX Hall, we'll chat a little bit about FX Hall. I filmed a video. I'm gonna just start by saying I'm not a great actor, but it was quite a fun time filming nonetheless, and just to kind of showcase, give a good visual of what FX Hall is like. We'll show that, and then we'll just kind of give some updates about some things and important things and stuff to expect throughout the summer. So I guess if Lara, if you could start the video and we'll watch that, and then we'll get on with the rest.
Hey, my name is John. I'm one of the Residence Life Coordinators. We're here at FX Hall, which is a residence building that I'm going to give you guys an awesome tour of. So come on with me and check it out. So come on into one of the single rooms here at FX Hall. This is, the majority of the rooms are one of these. There are doubles available to you, but if you're interested in living by yourself, this is what the rooms are going to pretty much look like. There's a bed here, single twin bed. We have access to a nice desk and workspace for you to study at. There's also a wardrobe here. And one of the nice, interesting things about this is that there's also a sink that comes with every room. So you'll have the ability to brush your teeth at night without having to run over to the bathrooms. So welcome here to the FX Hall kitchen. This is a space that you guys will have access to at any point in the day, all year, school year round. There's lots of different fridges. We got a whiteboard here for you to put your recipes on and plan your meals. We got tables here and chairs if you feel like sitting down and having a meal with your buddies. It's quite a large kitchen space here, so we have access to the stoves and the counter spaces here for you to use how you see. There's a refrigerator, or the microwave, the sinks, and also a dishwasher if you don't feel like ever doing your dishes. So out here at FX Hall, this is the outdoor patio that we have. There's a bunch of different picnic tables you guys can sit at and enjoy hanging out on a nice day like today. It's a wonderful space if you just need to get outside, have some fresh air. But it also connects into one of our other lounge spaces. So if you want to come on in with me, I can take a look and show you what's inside. So now we're inside the lounge here, and this is the main lounge that you guys have to hang out, do some activities, have some fun. One of the cool things we can do here is play ping pong. So we have this wonderful table to come and compete and do tournaments on. Another lovely thing that they've done is the wall. So there's the Phoenix there, which is the building logo. You can put your handprint on it, make your mark on the building. This is a great spot for, you know, people to hang out. We all are often in here doing programming and having food and all those sorts of things. Over towards this end of the room, we have some couches and a nice TV that you can put a movie on, you know, hang out, watch some shows with your friends. But I look forward to seeing you here, and I'll see you and challenge you to a game. So come on with me, I'll show you the laundry room facility. So here, it's a really nice and snug, tight laundry room, but there's 4 washer machines, there's 2 dryers, and there's a sink here for you to use as you need. So there you've seen the building. This is FX Hall, and we're in Gardner Lounge here. It's the CA hub room and my office. This is where you'll find myself and some of the other CAs in the evenings after 8 p.m. every day of the night, every day of the week. We look forward to seeing you here next September.
There we go. So that was quite a bit of fun. We worked with the social media guy. He's quite good at filming, and so that was my first time on camera, and it's a lot of fun. But we look forward to doing more kind of stuff like that, promotional things throughout the summer. So that gives a quick kind of a look inside the building. I'll chat a bit about FX Hall specifically because I do think there's a lot of cool features of the building that often go unnoticed or students aren't aware of. And so I want to make sure that everybody is aware of all that. But starting off, so the building is in a really great location. I will say that it's on the outskirts of campus, but it's next to the athletic center. So the gym and the pool, you know, the soccer court, the soccer or the pitch, the athletic field. So if something if you're an athletic person or you enjoy, you know, going to the gym, it's right next door to that. So that's often a draw for students who are on athletic teams or things like that who don't have to, you know, trek across campus for their early morning workouts and practices. It's also it's in a really tucked away kind of in its own quiet spot. So although it is on the outskirts of campus, it's quite peaceful and quiet. And it tends to be more of a quieter building based on the number of students who live there. It's our smallest residence building. It's a really close-knit community that is really well managed. So I have a group of staff who work underneath me. They're students, much like yourself, who all lived in FX Hall, who will live and work in FX Hall. and they do a fantastic job, promoting the community element, uh, building, doing all the activities and promoting everything that FX Hall, all the fun and things like that inside the building. Um, it's a really diverse building. I know it's got a lot of diversity in the students, in the population, the demographics of people who do choose to live there. It's a really cool space. A lot of the programming is tends to involve multicultural aspects, which is really cool. They bring in some really cool food and different kind of things from across the world. So it's a really welcoming space and a really close-knit community. So although it may be quieter residence building, it is definitely a social space that students really enjoy to live in. And it is almost a half first year and returner mix. So it tells me that a lot of students do enjoy living in FX so much that they want to come back, right? And that's kind of the culture that we work to build in the building. So um, I see that uh, Jordana asked a question about the bathrooms across from the rooms. So the bathrooms I didn't show in the video there. It's important to know that the bathrooms are all single stall. Some of them have like a shower stall, and some have full bathtubs to use. Um, but they're not like a. It's not like some of the other residence buildings where you go in to the restroom and then there's private use stalls and showers in a common area. It's every bathroom in FX Hall has its own like door to the hallway and lock. So it's a single use bathroom, all gender neutral, and there's quite a few on each floor. So yeah, the bathrooms are quite well. Um, a hair salon close by. So there is a campus clipper. I'm not sure. I know that there is one in the Students Union building, and I would promote you to go and visit that one because I also have heard really good things about the staff member there who cuts people's hair. But there are a number of other hair salons throughout town as well. So just depends on what it is, what kind of styles and stuff, and what you're trying to get done. Um, Alexis said, "Do the bathrooms have their own key to open the room?" Bathrooms have their own key to open the room. So the bathrooms just lock from the inside, and they're always open if they're not in use. So I think if that answers your question. Um, cool. Okay, so moving along. We show the video. So there's a number of ways that you guys can connect with the community, kind of get involved with FX Hall. The number one way I would suggest doing that is if you have social media, if you have Instagram, I know they run a really great Instagram page. It really showcases a lot of the stuff going on in the building. It's where all the promotions are posted to for different activities and programming going on. So I'd recommend joining that or following that Instagram page that they have. I believe it's FX Hall St. FX is their handle. But I can definitely post that in the chat later on. Um, so yeah, I would start with doing that. We have another uh, virtual building meeting that will take place in early August around. It's going to be very similar to the style that this is, but it's going to be specifically more to do with the move-in process and answering any questions that you guys might have. Um, you know, getting closer to your arrival, right? So any of those specific questions that might come up, or kind of just to, we'll go into more details about the um, move-in important dates and things that you should know and that sort of stuff. But there's another one of these coming up later in the summer. So St. FX Student Life also has an Instagram page as well. And so they're separate from residents that, FX Hall has their own resident or their own uh, building Instagram, and we do everything, residents programming and stuff within FX Hall, but the student life kind of oversees and embodies all residents and all students on campus. So it's another great page to follow, and it's St. FX Student Life on Instagram. And so they have similarly information about what's going on, ways to get involved, things like that. And then lastly, I'll just say Residence Council is a really cool concept and a really cool thing that we run in our residences at St. FX. It's a way for students to have some decision making, and have the ability to sit in on the council that will decide what a lot of the programming and the uh, events that happen inside the building will be. And so that can be anywhere from like a clothing order that the building wants to do. You talk about your banquet at the year end. They just did a really cool one with FX, how that all wants to be, like what you want to serve, what the theme is, all that kind of stuff. Throughout the school year, I know like FX Hall, the House Council purchased the ping pong table in the video that you would have seen. So they have a lot of autonomy on how and what they want to spend their money on. And so it's a really cool way to get involved, make a difference, have some sort of a connection to meet lots of people in the building. But it's also a really good leadership opportunity. And there's a number of different seats and jobs and things that you can do in the residence council, depending on how involved you want to be. But the general structure of how it works is that everybody who lives in residence pays dues, which is about $60, I think, on the student account, and all of that money gets pooled together and then divided up based on how many students live in the building, and some other formulas and such go into play. But anyways, the point of it is that there's a lump sum of money that is, up to the students to decide how they want to spend it and what do they want to do to build those kind of memories and experiences in residence. So I'm a big fan of Residence Council. It's more something that will roll out in September, but it is good to just keep it on your radar that that's something that will be going on. So I'm gonna look at the comments here. Each room had a sink. So Cameron asks, yes, each room has a sink in the single rooms. In the double rooms, they do not have a sink. But the double rooms, we didn't get a shot inside of them, but they are quite large. They're on the corners, on the ends of the hallways. Um, and they're kind of in a, I guess, like a pod. Like there's a hallway divider door, and then beyond that hallway divider door there sits two double rooms and then a bathroom, and so like a shared bathroom in between those two rooms. So yeah, they don't have their own sinks, but the rest of all the twin or all the single rooms have their own sinks. um, I will post the Instagram link. Oh, there we go. Lara already did. FX Hall at Instagram. Thanks, Welly. Got the link there. Do the single rooms have their own bathroom and or kitchen? So no, unfortunately, the way that the kind of two different styles of residence that we have on St. FX are traditional style and suite style. FX Hall is a traditional style building where there isn't bathrooms or kitchens in the rooms. It tends to be uh, more popular with first year students, and yeah, so it's one of the traditional styles. The suite styles would be more popular among upper year students, um, but the bathrooms are plentiful and really quite nice actually from what I've heard. People say really great things about the water pressure and no shortage of heat and that sort of thing. Um, so single rooms have a bed, a desk, a closet, and a sink. Yes, and a dresser. Are there ceiling fans in the lounges and rooms? No, so there's no ceiling fans. Um, there is every room has a its own thermostat uh, to adjust like the temperature, I believe. But as far as cooling, like every room has a window to open, and the lounges similarly have like the patio door and windows and that sort of thing. Move-in date, Lara's answered is on the 29th. So a little bit about the move-in day on the 29th. Uh, it's one of many move-in days, and so that's where we've designated FX Hall on the 29th. There will be more details about specific times that, we'd prefer to have you move in on. But keep in mind that if your travel plans don't match or don't agree with the specific like the 29th at 8 a.m., uh, just feel free to give us that heads up that you're gonna need a different time to move in. And there is also a early move in for students who are anxious about the move in process that we offer. I believe it's on the 28th. It'll be the day before this. And that is something that is really well received. And it's an option for just to give a little bit more time. And, you know, if students are uneasy about the move in process, that's an option. Just let us know, email us, and we can make that accommodation for your move-in day. How much is the dues? So I don't specifically know exactly the amount of dues, but it's a fee that goes onto the student account, and all of that money goes towards running some of the residents' programming, and it's the resident council. So it was something that used to be handled more by the students' union, but in the last number of years, I think 3 years ago, residents life has taken on a lot of the administrative and tasks and basically rolling out the residence council, and it's been really well done. So all the programs and all the banquets and all the spending of the money that is collected and dues uh, has turned out and resulted in a lot of positive and really great programs that we've seen. And yeah, I would encourage, like I said, when in September when you do arrive, there's going to be lots of opportunities and ways for you to get involved with the residence councils. So Luke asked, can I have a personal mini fridge? Yeah. So mini fridges are definitely one of the items that you're able to bring. They don't have them in the rooms. However, there are shared fridges in the kitchens downstairs. But should you feel like you want to have, your own private stuff, feel free to, yeah, run out and get a mini fridge. Um, Also, they're available for purchase here in Antigonish at some of the big box stores. So if it's not convenient for you to move with it or bring it with you when you come out here, don't worry, you'll be able to pick it up along with a lot of other items that you may need in residence. Since this residence has kitchens, do you still require a 350 meal plan? Yes. So meal plans are mandatory for all students who live in residence. The reason is, well, there's a number of reasons, but the main reason is just because the kitchens are available for students to use in the residence. They're still required to purchase meal plans, and frankly, it's a real convenient option. I can go into a lot more detail about Morrison Hall, but they do a fantastic job in their meal service delivery and in the delivery of their meal services, and and the meals that they have there are there's fantastic job on all dietary, accommodations, and the food is quite tasty. I enjoy eating there, but it comes from more of a convenience thing. There's so much as students, you guys are going to be having to navigate and just trying to uh, worry about, grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, all of those sorts of things. Um, as a first year student transitioning into university, it's making use of the meal hall on campus is actually a real is a real asset, for you to use and to make it a little bit easier uh, to get all that done. So, but yes, it is required to purchase a meal plan when you live in residence. How would you be able to sign up for the student council? So in September, we put out applications. You can chat with your CAs. So the CAs are the community advisors. They're the staff who work in the residence. They live in the residence building like you. They work every evening of the week from 8 p.m. Till either 11 p.m. or 1 a.m. on the weekends. If you go and chat to any of the CAs when they're on duty, they can give you more information about, what spots, what positions are available on the residence council, when those applications are open. They pretty much open for the whole school year. There's never really a time where we would um, say, oh, we got all of our people on the council. That's kind of the bonus of it being a council is it's engaging and involves everybody who wants to be part of it. But it does. There are a number of specific positions, such as like the treasurer. Or the financial advisor, financial officer. There's like a recreation officer, a health and wellness, and all of these different kind of offices in the council. And so for those specifically, they do open those up in early September, and uh, and then it's up to the senior community advisor to do some hiring, like so some interviewing and hiring of those applicants in for the residence council. Um, So no, the rooms do not have mini fridges like MSB. There are two fridges in the kitchen on the first floor that you have full access to store anything you need refrigerated. So doing the accelerated program and coming to Canada next year, January 2026. So will I have to charter a taxi or a drive will come for me? So typically, yeah, so Laura did a great job answering. There is an international student advisor we have on staff who handles a lot of the transportation for international students. But typically the taxis don't travel from the Halifax airport to Antigonish, or if they do, they're not really reliable with a reliable schedule. So, in terms of getting here to Antigonish to St. FX from the airport, I would recommend Maritime Bus is probably your best bet. But keep in mind that there are a schedule for when that bus travels up north here. So, yeah, all that's posted online when you figure out your travel plans to get here. Public Wi-Fi available. Yeah, so the university has WebFX, and that's available to you as students to log into with your SaintFX student email. Um, at this point, you should have received a SaintFX email in part of your acceptance package, and the login that you use for your email is the exact same one to get onto the internet here on campus. Perfect. So those are the questions the chat caught up. I really appreciate, any of the questions. Just keep them coming when they pop up into your mind, and I'll keep going here. Um, Continuing on with the point of the email is super important because that's throughout the summer, but also all year round in the school year. Your professors, like important updates, safe security, anything like that is all going to be communicated typically through email. So it's a really good habit to get into, checking your email, logging in, putting it on your phone. It's Microsoft Outlook, and it's the best way to, you know, make sure that all those information you're on top of. And starting this summer, there's going to be, more important updates coming about a lot of the things that we have going on as move in and as September gets closer. So it's really the best habit to get into right from the start. And so if you haven't signed into your email yet, I'd encourage you to reach out, and we can help you navigate that. Um, yeah, so um, there is a residence handbook for the upcoming school year. We're going to share the one in the chat from this year. It shouldn't really change much, but we will also, you'll have access to the updated one next year. But the residence handbook is a really important document that really outlines, what to bring, what not to bring to campus. It goes over the residence contract, expectations that we have of you when you live in residence. That includes like behavioral conduct, guest policy, all of those important kind of administrative stuff that it's really good for you to review and have knowledge of when you do come to campus here. So we'll drop that in the chat if Laura could do that. And the yeah, so it's a really important document. I would encourage you guys to go over it. There's a number of things that I'll kind of speak to very quickly in it, but most importantly, there's a lot of questions that we've been getting about guests, and there is a guest policy that we have at St. FX. But just to be clear, guests are absolutely welcome. You're welcome to have guests in residence. There is no curfews or anything like that. But there is a policy that governs how many guests you can have at one time, the number of overnight guests you can have consecutively, and in the course of a month. There's just some guidelines that have really helped us in our ability to oversee residence communities by knowing, if you don't live in this building, who are you and who is hosting you, right? And so it keeps, the building accountable for damages and for behavioral things. But we only really need to require students signing guests if it's after 8 p.m. And then at that point, the CAs who are working need to have knowledge of everybody who's in the building. And again, the sign-in process is something that your CAs can help you work through and learn how to properly do. It uses a platform that you'll be familiar with when you get here. It's called ERES. And so on ERES, we do our check-ins, our checkouts. So basically our room inspections are submitted through that, and then the guest sign-ins as well. And it's just a nice platform that we use through our residents. So does Gmail also work? Yes, Cameron. Gmail, like your own personal Gmail, would work, but uh, every student, staff, and faculty is assigned a specific St. FX email, and that's going to be the best way to receive information. So you might have your own personal Gmail, but all the information flow is going to be always sent through the St. FX one. Um, are there securities guarding the premises? Yeah, that's a great question. So as Laura said, there's 24-hour security officers, a team that works 365 days a year. I actually used to work for the safety and security department before I began working at Residence Life. And they do a fantastic job, keeping everybody safe. It's really a great department because they're not only just security, but they're also quite heavily involved in the safety of campus as well. So yeah, they're patrolling campuses. There's student who work on that department through X Patrol. It's a great student opportunity to have a job and make some money while you're here. And so X Patrol are, they work various different events where liquor is being served or where there's a need for some security assistance. But in terms of just a day-to-day operations, yeah, the full-time officers are full-time employees of the university, and there's a security vehicle that they have. They patrol around campus. There's a number of cameras as well throughout campus that help with their ability to monitor and safeguard and keep everybody safe here on campus. Um, yeah, so can you have a microwave in your room? Um, that is a great question. So you can have one in your room if you want. It's not one of the items that violates like the what to bring, what not to bring list. So it isn't prohibited in residence. There are a number of cooking devices that we do not allow in residence, but a microwave is safe to use, as would an air fryer if you felt the need for, or any cooking element that doesn't have an open flame or where there would be no risk of it, causing a fire safety issue. You're typically okay to bring, but if you do have questions, specifically, just feel free to drop it in the chat. But like kettle, if you like to drink tea or coffee, you can bring a kettle into your room, those sorts of things. One thing I will mention is just be mindful some of these appliances as you plan out in your room and how you use them. They might draw a lot of electricity. So where if you plug in, for example, like if you have a microwave going in one outlet and then you are gonna straighten your hair or use something that's gonna have a large draw of electricity. I know in the past that has sometimes like trip the breaker or that sort of a thing. So it is just something to be mindful that if you're used to doing it this way at home or used to having everything all plugged in one, yeah. But so Alexis asked, how would you sign up for X Patrol? So X Patrol is I believe it's a 19 and older because there is the possibility where you're going to be working with like alcohol at events and those sort of things. I'm not entirely sure if that rule is still the same now, but regardless, as with any job that a student's going to have on campus, you can sign up once the job postings typically tend to come once the school year starts to get going. So in early September, there is, a job fair that takes place inside Mulrooney. If you're interested in having some of these opportunities, such as X Patrol, um, you can visit that job fair, meet some folks who are looking for student workers. I will say that St. FX, out of any institution that I've ever seen or heard of or you know uh, looked at, has more students who work jobs and have job opportunities available to them than anywhere else I've ever seen, whether that's through research, whether that's on X Patrol or the Students Union, the Inn. If you're the box office, there's even opportunity for through the food services here. Like there's a lot of opportunity. The library, IT, no matter what it is that you're interested in, there's likely a way that you could find, employment through that. And it's really nice that it is within the university. So you don't have to worry about, walking up to the Walmart or something like that for your shifts. So, but as far as X Patrol, they will be posting, and that's where your email is important because for some of the larger departments, student departments like that, they will send out emails to your student email when they're hiring. So just be mindful and keep an eye out for when those come. So Laura, great correction. Uh, Alexandra asked, would an air fryer be allowed in my room? And Laura has corrected me. So they're actually one of those items that aren't allowed because of the ventilation. You can keep it in the kitchen and use it there in an area that has better ventilation. But yeah, there is for specifics. Again, I'd have to refer back to the handbook, for different kind of appliances and stuff. But general rule of thumb is open out or open fire or like open elements are an absolute no. How many sockets per room? That's a good question. I believe there's one at the desk, and there's definitely these two different outlets, but definitely one at the desk, and then I potentially one near the sink as well. But good point. Lara says bringing a extension cord with a surge protector is always a good idea. Is there a library in FX Hall? So FX Hall has the lounge or the kitchen. Both have areas that you could set up and study at a table. Um, as far that's within the building. There isn't like any sort of a library where books are stored or anything like that in FX Hall. But it is there are libraries and study spaces throughout campus in academic buildings. Uh, how close are the supermarkets? So FX Hall is pretty close to the Sobeys and the mall and the big plaza that's there. You just it's basically just one direction. If you were to come out of FX Hall, you just turn right and just keep walking all the way down Founders Lane, and then you come out to an intersection, and there's a supermarket there. Um, as far as the superstore and Walmart and the other kind of commercial plaza, it's a little bit further walk, but I do know that students often will walk to the supermarket and then take a cab back. And the cabs in town are pretty reliable and reasonable price. So in terms of transporting any groceries or things you're going to need, it's pretty doable.
And John, if I could just step in there, carpooling as well. I say in effects because it's such a close-knit community. You're always going to make friends with someone who has a car or someone who's friends with someone who has a car. So, like in my personal experience, my friend's grocery day was Friday. So I just that's can I join you? And you have those opportunities where you're connected with different people. So you'll never be stuck in case like the cab's
Mhm.
closed or you can't find a cab for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great. You always want to make friends with people who have vehicles. No, that's a really good point. And in terms of vehicles on campus, if you are looking to bring a car, that's something that we can also accommodate. It would help if you would sign up and register your vehicle before arriving. That way, it's one less thing that you have to try and navigate in September when you get here. But there are overnight parking passes available, and there's a map that Lara shared with all of the overnight parking lots on campus. And so, if you ever have any questions about, where should I park or that sort of thing, security does a pretty good job, informing students on where you need to park or if you need to move your vehicle and that sort of thing. but just ask the CAs and they'd be more than willing to help help you where guide you where you need to park your vehicle. How much is the parking pass? Maya asks. So there's the info for the parking that Lara posted there. I believe the daily parking passes are 250 for the full year. They can be sold by the half semester or like for one semester only. Um, or even there's a daily rate, I know. And then there is an extra charge for an overnight parking. But if I just click on the link Lara shared, it would be overnight is 275 a term or 450 for the year, and then daytime is 250 for the year and 150 per term. So are parking fees charged to all students even if you don't have a car? No. So that's where uh, it's only for students who, with vehicles to register and buy a permit. And security is the department that will monitor and make sure that, the vehicles parked on our campus are ones with permits. Will there be a meet and greet for the first night when we move in? That's a great question, Alexis. So yes, um, we have lots of things planned on the 29th, and orientation week is stretches right through from when you move in until that first week of school. So there's lots of things we have planned in residence, but also the students union have a lot of fun activities. There's a whole orientation crew who are there to help get the energy and spirit up, and they'll actually help walk the group of FX Hall students to whatever various events are taking place on campus. But yes, in terms of actual programming and activities, I know that as in terms of residence life, our CAs are going to plan to have the building all decorated and all ready for your arrival when you get here, but then also have some intentional programming for that first couple nights to get to know one another and break the ice and that sort of thing. So, but again, as Laura says, more full agenda will be finalized throughout the summer, and so it'll be shared on your student email. Um, Perfect. Okay. So as we talk about the summer here, there's a few things to expect. Um, I I'm gonna say that there is I'm going to say that check your email often. I know that's sounding like a broken record here, telling you to do that, but it really is important for you to stay on top of the information that's coming because it's gonna we to not feel overwhelmed uh, and bombarded when you get here with information. To the more you can do now as you prepare to arrive on campus, the easier the transition is going to be. And so in the summertime, one of the things that's going to be shared with you is a get ready guide. That's actually going to be mailed to you, but it will have a bunch of important information about things that you're going to want to do before you arrive. A lot of coursework material, required courses, and information like with your curriculum, things that you want to sort out prior to arrival. So that's going to come mid-May. It should arrive or be sent. So you can keep an eye out for that. But another really important thing is the X starts here modules. They're the Xaverian Community Foundation modules, and they're a new initiative that the schools started a few years back where every student first year student at St. FX is required to complete these educational modules. And they're really great because the information that they help guide some of those expectations and really present a baseline for all students to have who are going to be a Xaverian, right? And so there are four modules that we will administer through the same platform you use to do your classes. And they're going to be put online mid-July, early July, somewhere around that time. And you'll have, we really recommend and would really ask that they're completed, before you arrive on campus, but keeping in mind that that's not always a possibility for everybody. But as soon as you could possibly complete these modules, the better. And I believe they're just really good information. I'll get Lara to share the link if she can about the um, if she can about the modules there. But there's two ways that we're going to try to have everybody do them. One is going to be, you can complete them asynchronously. So you'll be able to log in and go through the information and fill out the quizzes and do each four as you go. Or we will have a session that's going to be just like this one, where somebody will go through all the information, and then collectively, we can kind of uh, go through the questions and kind of do it as a group to get your attendance that way. So really cool. I do them as well. All of our CAs do them. Part of the reason that I do them each year is to just make sure that if you have any questions or uncertainty or anything you want to know, go into further detail with, I want to be able to answer that for you. So um, yeah, so that's one of the things. I mentioned earlier about a online session that is gonna, just like this, is gonna take place in early August. We'll go into a lot more of the details there about movement day, what to expect. We'll have all that finalized programming and everything planned out then. So for that, uh, I'll email your student account with an invitation along with an incoming student survey, just to get a feel, for if there's anything that I can help assist with, kind of touch base with each one of you as you move in. And so that's going to be, like I said, early August. And yeah, so if you have any questions that you didn't get to ask on this session, or burning questions over the summer, that just know that we'll have another session like this that you'll be able to ask those at. One other really important thing while it's on my mind is the housing application. So, uh, along with reading your emails on your student account, I can't stress enough the importance for you to accept your housing application if you haven't already by June 1st. Um, Everybody who accepts it by June 1st, we can guarantee you the bed in the house, the residence room. But after June 1st, if you haven't accepted your offer, uh, we may not have, we have to proceed with people who are maybe on a waiting list or that sort of thing. So I will say that residence numbers are really strong this year, and I think that's a good reflection on enjoyment levels, and the fact that students want to return to residence is a really good sign. I know we do a lot of great work to try to make it a place that people enjoy to be. It's fun, memories, it's a really cool space. So I will just say that if you accept your offer by June 1st, you won't have to worry about your housing application. If you were offered a spot, and maybe now after some of these info sessions you've maybe decided you'd rather live in a different residence, or you don't want the housing application or the offer you've been given, um, we can move you onto a wait list, but only after you've accepted an offer with us. So if you accept your offer, then you can say, hey, I'd rather live in Riley or a different building like that, and we can proceed with that process. Um, that's something that I can help you with. That's something the housing office can help you with. But yeah, just really want to make sure from today's session that everybody knows, June 1st is a really important date that you all have uh, accepted your housing offers by. Um, so Are there any gazebos close by? Um, Outdoor spaces, somewhere to sit with an umbrella. So there is, I know on the at the Students' Union building on they have an outdoor patio that has a number of picnic tables for you to use. In terms of outdoor spaces, there's lovely gardens and the Xavier or the Xavier Hall, Confusion Square. There's a number of other picnic spots and benches. There's one right outside the front door in FX Hall. That's the really nice bonus of having that back patio space. It's not covered, but it is pretty sheltered because of where it's kind of situated uh, up against two of the sides of FX Hall. It creates kind of a nice windbreak. Um, but yeah, there are a number of outdoor spaces on campus. There's also Antigonish has, in terms of like the town, has a lot of great places for you to get outside and enjoy being. But all of that you can, if you have any questions or one of the lovely things if you with residence programming with our CAs is that I know in FX Hall last year a lot of the students there's a hike, well not really a hike but it's a walk out to the landing, and it's this lovely walking trail that goes along by the water. And a lot of the students who lived in FX wanted to do this walk, but they didn't know where to go or didn't know how to do it. And so one of the CAs actually led a program where they all gathered together and they walked the landing, and it was really nice. And so if that's something that if there's anything like that as an example that are interested in doing, chatting with your CAs, it lets it lets us know so we can be more intentional in our programming of things you want to do, right? Um, so how long does it take to find out if you get taken off the wait list uh, after asking to, oh, sorry, my chat's all, after asking to change residences? So, housing deals with all of the room assignments. And so if you want to go onto a wait list, you got to reach out to residents at stfx.ca. That's their email, or the residence off or the housing office, and make that request. I can't really speak to like the availability or that, how long it's going to take uh, for that wait list to move. But I will say I do know that uh, in order for us to begin to reassign or to change residences, you have to be in our system, and then we can go from there. Hannah asks, how and when will we be notified who our roommate is? So great question. Lara had shared an answer. So in July, yeah, they're going to send out a lot more information about your room assignment. Um, if you do have in mind somebody who, you maybe know from back home or went to high school with, or just a close friend that's also going to Santa Fe next year, you can share that with the housing office, residents at stfx.ca, and just request that you get paired up in the same room. And I know a lot of students, prefer to live with someone they're familiar with. But also, I know a lot of students make really close friends that they, have all throughout their university experience, and even after, from folks that they just pair up with and live with in their first year in a double room. Um, so yeah, I will say there's a lot of great successful friendships and people live who come from complete polar opposites that get paired in a double room together and enjoy the year. So, um, how long does it take to find out when you get taken off the wait list? Oh, sorry, my chat's all full up now. Distance from FX residence to Schwartz building and cafeteria. Um, FX Hall is I would say, yeah, about a 3 or 4 minute walk to The meal hall, it's just across from, you gotta walk underneath the bleachers of the athletic facility, and then it's just like the next building over after the physical science building. So there's about two buildings between FX and Morrison Hall, which is the meal hall. It takes me about 4 minutes if I'm not really walking fast to get there. And then from there, Schwartz is the business building, and that's just next door. So it's maybe another minute after that. You could probably walk to Schwartz from FX in about 5 minutes. Really, nowhere on campus is much more than a like a six. I'd say you could walk anywhere on campus between a 10-minute time. And I will share the story. I had a class in Schwartz in the fourth floor McKenna Center, and then I had another class as a student in the McKeating Center classrooms, which is pretty much as far away as you can get in across campus. And the time blocks between each classes are only 10 minutes long. And I thought there was no way I was going to be able to make it between those two spaces, but sure enough, I can. I was able to walk between the two. So it just goes to show that yeah, even though it may seem like the buildings are a far distance apart, they're really not much more than a few minute walk. Hannah asks if can we request to be paired up with someone else in our program? Yeah, certainly you can send that into housing. You can ask, if let's say you're in the nursing program and you want to be paired up with maybe somebody who's also in the nursing program. That's something that they can consider when they put out the room assignments. And asks, are pots and pans and kitchen supplies provided in the kitchen area? So it's a good question. Lara answers it pretty well. So yeah, uh, there are cases where there could be some leftover things that students just kind of like donate, so to speak, to the kitchen. Um, However, I would say, that's not always the case. And if you do want to make sure that you have certain cooking appliances or cooking cookware, I would recommend bringing it or purchasing it when you get here. But as she says too, like Dollarama has lots of great stuff. You can pretty much outfit an entire kitchen just from Dollarama alone. So yeah, that's other than that, I will say too, we, uh, we as residence life and the university are not responsible. It's part of the contract in the housing contract. Um, but also that resident standards, as you familiarize yourself with that document, we're not responsible for like personal items that are left in the kitchens. So there have been cases where, if you left your micro or if you left an air fryer that out on the kitchen, and then maybe somebody used it, left it all dirty, and uh, it's your responsibility that if it is your things, you got to bring it back and forth to your room, right? So, are roommates chosen at random, or is there a survey so we can pair it up based on schedules and such? So, yeah, Lara answers that pretty well. There is space in the application to share. They answer a couple questions where housing will ask like, do you stay up late? Are you an early riser? Those kinds of things. And then outside of that, it is pretty much, well, once those recommendations and things are taken into consideration, it's just there isn't really much of a uh, an algorithm or anything that goes into it's trying to pair up people with who we best feel would be successful living together. One of the things that I can help with is when you do arrive here, uh, those people who are living in double rooms, I will help um, facilitate a roommate agreement with you guys so that and the roommate agreement is just a kind of an expectation that both people have on like cleanliness of the room, all of those things that because you're sharing a space, you can be on both on the same page with. And right then and there is a great sign and indicator where like uh, it really helps set those expectations and boundaries with roommate situations. So everyone's on the same page. But that's where it's a really good predictor of of if that roommate situation is going to work or not. So, but yeah, that's pretty much I am once you guys are paired up, and if there is any issues or concerns, that's all something that you can bring to my attention, and we can discuss and move forward with the process of seeing what we can do to accommodate those kinds of things. Um, okay, let me just look back to my document here and make sure. Um, So yeah, June 1st to confirm your space and residence. Another thing that you can do now while you get ready to come to St. FX is uploading a photo for your ID card. So all students have St. FX student IDs, and there's going to be an email sent out to you later in the summer with steps on how you can upload your photo ID, and it'll just help streamline the process when you arrive for move-in day if you've already uploaded your photo online. So we'll have essentially like if you upload the photo in the summer through the steps in the email that's going to be sent to you, you'll be able to have your card just handed to you when you arrive. And if you're unable to, they're going to have to go through and take a photo the day of, print the card, and then program it, and those sorts of things. One thing with FX Hall specifically is that they the building is hard key, so you'll have to get used to holding on to a physical key to get into the entrance building, but then another one for your bedroom. So other residences have like swipe cards, but that's not something that FX has. It'll be a hard key for the front door and then a hard key for your bedroom. So there is um, there's another link I'm going to share here. It's for all new incoming students. And it's got a lot of the information. It's where we kind of park everything for, setting up like how-tos to set up your different accounts, your emails, going through the portal system that we use for, course registration and checking your grades, your account balance, all that sort of stuff. It'll help walk you through registering for your classes, more information on completing those X-starts here as they vary in modules. There's also a program that I haven't mentioned, but a lot of your first year profs will really recommend that you participate in. It's called X Act, and it's a 5-week program that's non-curricular or non-academic, I guess. It doesn't count as like a credit in terms of course like that, but it's an extracurricular program that helps really enhance those skills, strategies, and stuff that you're going to need to succeed here, transitioning from wherever you're at now to your first year at St. FX. And so this course is, and a lot of professors will actually help or could potentially add incentives. I know a lot of people say that like it's such like a lot of professors appreciate this program so much that they will put, a bonus grade or something else that alongside this program if for those who complete it because it's really important like the study strategies, everything that they go into detail with really helps set you up to be a student here at St. FX. So yeah, again, the packing for campus is a big one. That's not something that you need to worry about quite yet, but when you do go to pack for campus and when you're trying to figure out what to bring, what not to bring, that's all outlined in that document, the residence handbook. So I'd really encourage you to go through that again and take a look at all that. And if you have any questions, I'm going to write my email in here. I encourage you to reach out to me. Um, you can send me an email at any point. I'll do my best to get back to you. If it is something that's more urgent, there's the possibility that I could be off on vacation in the summer. Us as RLCs, we tend to be really busy during the school year, so this time of year is when we could. It makes more sense for us to take our vacation time, and if that's the case, if you send an email to RLCs or this email there, RLCS, that goes to all of my other colleagues, and they can answer your question or direct it to somebody who can. Um, and so yeah, that's those are some really good. I'm really active on the email, so if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out, introduce yourself. I'd love to get to meet all of you guys who are coming to FX next year. And we're looking forward to having a really great year in September. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say. If there's anything anyone else has, I'd love to open the floor up for any questions. Um, and yeah. So are you who we email regarding roommates? Um, You can email me regarding any concerns or anything to do with residents, and I can just redirect those questions. But Laura shared the email for the housing office is residents@stfx.ca. Um, they're ultimately the ones who deal with the housing or roommate assignments and housing assignments, right? So feel free to email me a question or if you have a roommate in mind, and I can forward that along. So yeah, thank you. Thanks, Alexis. Grateful for the opportunity. Yeah, we'll see you in August. Thanks, everybody.